Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Blue Collar Workers, Podcast 19, Season 2. I am, as always, John, Shaun, or Yaka.
I'm Chris.
And I'd like to personally thank all 1,000 subscribers. Woo! We've reached that barrier. And it has taken us a good 8 months. But I'm actually very, very pleased about this. Myself and Chris have put a lot of work into this. And we deeply appreciate, as we regularly say to many of you, please like, comment, subscribe, but especially give us comments. Politics is not a vacuum. It isn't a window shopping idea. I've received quite a bit of a messaging of late, and I am looking forward to probably putting that into podcast 20, where there's been backwards and forwards conversation between myself and some of the subscribers. And again, we always encourage that. As long as you're polite and articulated, we will communicate with you.
And also share our lovely channel with the people.
Absolutely.
You think
Please share our channel. Absolutely. Because we want dialogue. We want discussion. Britain doesn't talk about politics enough. Anyway.
Quick thing. You saw a quiz discussion. Anyone suggested any names yet for the political party we could
No one's actually suggested. Me and Chris are thinking about forming a political party. I won't tell you what one of my friends said at work. The fuck off stemmer party.
I think that's a bit too on the nose.
and his colleague then turned and said, don't you mean anybody who's not an autocratic bastard party? And that's a Labour leader being dissed by a couple of 20-year-old boys. That should tell you exactly how unappreciated Labour's leader is right now by a younger generation. Anyway, enough antics, as we generally do. Today, I've got Labour's new deputy leader, says the party must pay more heed to its members. Factionalism has farce and chaos. Dogs Reform UK in the gardens of pleasant little England. Reform MP comments about Adverts, racist, says Sterling. And man arrested over racially aggravated rape. But it's not what you think it will be, Chris. Over on Chris's side, we have...
Meet Lucy Powell. Literally a nice little article on our new deputy PM. Budget issues before even released. Already quabbling within its own party. Fuck's sake. Stammer's update on digital ID. I smell a backpedal in the foot.
Ha! Him have been backpedaling like his life depends on it.
Asylum seeker avoids jail. Oh, I'm not going to lie.
I knew you were going to do that one. I did not put... I saw it. It was everywhere. I didn't even look at it.
I literally read that and I was like, I'm having my say on that.
The problem being is with that one is the blunder is entirely with the police. We'll get to it, but the blunder is entirely with the police.
British citizens seeking healthcare abroad. Latest figure shows on a massive increase.
Jesus.
And Iceland supermarket brings the support.
Damn.
A nice, lovely little booster, which I'm going to say, I will cover that even if it's the last 5 minute thing at the end. I'm going to say is get down to Iceland as soon as possible, because in fact they're bringing the support.
So we'll both do the lady deputy leader.
Yeah.
We both got an article for her. Exclusively, Lucy Powell, who was sacked as the Commons leader by Starmer in September. She's not his friend. I like her, I must admit. Some of the things I've read about her. Says government should stop trying to out-reform reform. Huzzah! Well done, Lucy. At least someone has a brain cell in the fucking Labour Party right now. Labour's new deputy leader, Lucy Powell, has said that the government must listen to its members instead of being guided by narrow groups of voices as it battles to stave off election disaster in next May's local elections. Powell defeated the Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson. Bridget Phillipson was a personally very close ally of the Prime Minister, which has kind of done him one in the side, in the deputy leadership contest, which concluded on Saturday. She said she had been given a clear mandate that members wanted the voice to be heard at the top of the party. The Manchester Central MP won 54% of the votes, polling 87,407 votes, whilst Phillipson received 73,536 votes. A turnout was just at 16.6%, which some Labour insider says points to a widespread disillusion within the party. That was only 16% of them. Fuck me. The results were announced on Saturday against the backdrop of Labour's catastrophic by-election performance in Caerphilly. The party came third behind Reform. Admittedly, Plum Cloud's the local party. Okay, we're looking at Plum Cloud, they're due. They are the local party. So they had a good inside kind of view. But they came after Reform, Chris. What are you doing, Labour? In Wales! They bleed left in Wales. Fucking hell. Polling just 11% of the vote in a previously safe seat that had been held by Labour since the creation of the Welsh Parliament.
Damn.
Wales bleeds fucking red. Both Labour deputy leadership candidates spoke in favour of scrapping the 2-child benefit cap, something believed to be an unpopular with members. Yeah, unsurprisingly. Speaking to The Guardian, Powell said, I think we often feel like our members and elected representatives are something we need to start against or not value. They are our strength. The connection us to our national conversations, instead of just telling people what we want them to do, we need to respect, value and include them more and recognise that debate is not division or dissent, and recognise you have to talk to people and hear from broader voices, not just a narrow group of voices who are worried about staving off Farage's continual advance in the centre to right. They haven't felt like they've been included and connected as they should have been in recent months, and that's what often happens when you go into government. I'm going to really help to do that, to re-engage with the party and make them feel part of the conversation again. I'll do that through working with Keir Starmer. Work. They don't get on. I don't know how the fuck she's going to do that working with him. With the government, working right across the party, the leadership roles that I will here have. Powell, who was sacked as a Commons leader by Starmer in September, said she would get to work straight away to shore up Labour support before local elections next May. She said the party needs to be clear about its success in office. What do you think? I like her. I think she's going to be a fucking thorn in his side.
He needs a thorn in his fucking
Oh
side.
my God.
Where did you get that article from?
I don't remember. I don't think it's from The Independent.
Oh, so mine's from The Independent.
Yeah, I think mine might have been The Guardian. No, it was The Guardian.
Yeah.
I got mine from The Guardian.
I see. On my side, meet Lucy Powell, the minister ousted by Starmer, who is now his deputy.
I love the Labour Party's irony. 16% though, Chris. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Lucy Powell has defeated Cabinet Minister Bridget Phillipson in the race to succeed Angela Rayner as Labour's deputy leader. The former leader of the Commons has long been since as more of a challenger to the current status quo in the Labour than her rival. While both candidates promised to spend more time listening to the party's membership, Miss Powell, who was sacked as a minister in the reshuffle that followed Miss Rayner's resignation just months ago, was seen as more of a change candidate than her rival, Miss Phillipson,
who is a known ally of the Prime Minister.
Her victory is likely to be seen as a call from the Labour membership for a new direction aimed at growing unhappiness within Sir Keir Starmer's government. Unhappiness, more like you're fucking almost on revolt. Miss Powell, who says policies were shaped by growing up in the north under Margaret Thatcher, is seen to sit at the party's soft left and launch in her leadership bid promised to urge the Prime Minister to pursue bold policies rooted in progressive Labour values.
Absolutely.
Right, hang on. Progressive Labour values, which means bye-bye digital ID.
Yeah. I don't know if she's actually a supporter of it, to be honest.
But if they go with their core values, it's bye-bye digital ID.
I don't know. Actually, I'm going to quickly look it up. You carry on. I'm going to look up whether Lucy Powell is
the daughter of the social worker and health teacher Lucy Powell was born and bred in Manchester, where she was elected as the MP in 2012 and has remained ever since, living there now with her husband, an A&E doctor. Oh, I like this. A&E doctor. Got some ties within the actual NHS. I smell good things if she gets her foot in the right direction. The mother of two is a lifelong Manchester City fan.
But my opinion has now gone down.
Football, I'm not getting into that. That's completely different from politics. A detail that sparked criticism after it was revealed during last year's Labour's freebie scandal that she accepted free football tickets to watch her team play. Nah, it's free footy tickets. It's not exactly bribery, is it? Unless Manchester City's funding her, then I'll be looking to go and A up. During the campaign, she has been openly critical of unenforced errors on welfare and the winter fuel payment, as well as warning that Labour members feel disconnected from the government, with a number of welfare rebels like York Central MP Rachel Mascow also being suspended from the Parliamentary Party following the welfare rebellion. Miss Powell has also made it clear she believes they should be allowed back.
Question to you. Unfortunately, she does support the digital ID. She
Fuck's
toes the party line. There's no immediate evidence of her directly standing against the digital ID. That's important, though.
Yeah.
She's not seen as publicly supporting it, but she's not seen publicly condemning it either. So that's politics there.
Notably, Miss Powell also used her campaign platform to criticise the Equality and Human Rights Commission guidance on transgender issues, which was issued in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling on biological sex and has been criticised by trans campaigners. We all know our opinions on that.
Yep.
She believes the issue is one where Labour has been swayed by the culture wars waged by the Tories, Reform and right-wing media. No, by common sense. You start bringing that old chestnut out the closet, we're going to have issues. She told The Independent last week she has always fought for women's rights, but sees absolutely no contradiction in fighting for those things whilst also at the same time being really clear that I support the trans community and people who are trans, who are some of the most marginalised people in society who suffer greatly with mental health and homelessness. For those who want to discuss that topic, let us know.
Yeah.
About obviously transgender people and everything else. I'm more than willing to discuss it. You already know my thoughts on it, but I'll gladly open debate about it and also drive home the point that
the legal definition is very clear.
Legal definition has been sorted. But if you want my opinion on transgender people, I'll gladly give the full opinion of what I think. I'm not going to lie. It will upset the transgender community. I have no.
There's not much that doesn't upset them. That's the fucking problem.
I'm completely 100% sure about that, but I base my reasoning within logic and biology. But there you go.
I mean, for me, as long as they're not harming people, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. Let's be fair. If they're adults doing their thing, cool.
I've always gone on a case of what you decide to do with yourself, you keep it within your own house.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line, really. I'm neither plus nor negative involved in the trans conversation. I'm really not. I feel that the focus that has happened involving trans community has been too much. As I have regularly said, they are a percentage of a percentage, and there are even sections now of the gay community worldwide that don't want anything to do with them.
They want to get rid of the TQ plus, don't they? They want they want a divorce from it.
Yeah. And I think that's a sensible kind of adult conversation, because the gay community is getting tired of wearing this baggage. But quite a few gay friends of mine have said that we every time gay conversations about gay rights, gay marriages, stuff like that, adoptions, that comes up, the fucking trans question, these are gay people saying this, keeps cropping up. When we want to talk about us building stable gay families that are adopting disadvantaged children into households. And for every 5 fucking minutes, the trans conversation. And this pisses the gay community off.
I'm not surprised.
They're trying to build families, homes, societies.
I'm going to say, before, obviously, the trans topic got associated with them, they didn't have it. They were literally just going, we have our own right to leave our way, and literally
going about their business quite quietly.
I think 90% of the country, like if not more, was just like, Carry on.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Carry on.
And I get why the gay community wants to get out of this now, because it's gotten fucking toxic as hell. And as I said, a conversation I was having with some gay friends, and they were talking about marriage and how they want to raise adopted kids that are in bad situations. I said, that sounds fucking brilliant. And then another younger adult amongst us said, what about the trans? And I shit you not, Chris, the gay friend said, I'm fucking tired of the trans conversation coming up when we are talking about basic gay fucking rights. And I was like, damn! I was like, oh, say less. Because I get it. I get how gay men and gay women are just getting tired of constantly having to defend their normal basic rights that they've got, which as a Briton, I'm happy to legally protect. You know what I'm saying? I think we can't be having a conversation about the homosexual.
If they want to go a certain way.
And the problem is Farage's fucking people. They're the cunts who want to roll back on these things.
Why?
Because that's Farage. There's a whole heap of this shit that we've got. Anyway, carry on, my boy. We got on a tangent.
These points of contention with the government means she is likely, at least at first, to be a thorn in Sir Cummer's side. Miss Powell has insisted she doesn't speak division or dissent. Instead, she's called for an important conversation about how we can do better. That sentence alone, hallelujah. Friggin' somebody that's going, I don't give a shit about that. I want to move forward and progress things forward correctly. Fantastic. Just scrap the digital ID in the process.
She broadly supports the idea behind it, but she thinks its execution has been poorly made.
I'll go into more about it with Stummer's update on it, but literally something that I've proposed within the past 2-3 previous episodes, I think is a more sensible idea to tackle his current issue than trying to enforce fucking digital ID. For a conversation because we need to be warning that the stakes are too high.
Yeah, they are. Digital ID is morally bankrupt, in my opinion. Putting photo ID on national insurance cards, perfectly fine. Tracking what I'm doing and not doing, and yes, Labour is proposing parts of that, because that's what the digital ID will eventually end up into. Mm-hmm. They might not be saying it right now, but that's the road we go to. It will track your spending, your costs, your movements. I'm not having that. Anything that leads to that road can get fucked, and I need to say that loudly.
That's the reason why there's that protest.
Yeah, absolutely.
10th or 11th?
Yeah. Factionalism, forces and chaos dogs reform in the green and pleasant gardens of England. All is not well in Kent for Nigel Farage's party, as the recent video of an incendious meeting suggests. When Reform UK swept to power in Kent at the local election this year, Nigel Farage arrived in the county by helicopter for a victory party marked by champagne and fireworks. Just over 25 weeks on from what the Reform leader described as one of the most significant days in his career, the sparks flying are of a very different kind. Farage has returned to national campaigning and left the running of Kent's County Council and its £2.5 billion annual budget to the newly installed leader, the combative former journalist and ex-Tory Lyndon Chemican. Last week, The Guardian published a record of the incendiary meeting in which she told dissident colleagues that they had to fucking suck it up if they didn't like her decisions. I remember when you told me to kick my ass when I spoke like that at work. and I was in bottom feeding blue collar work. I had my ass kicked for talking to a lazy colleague like that.
Yeah, but then I kicked the lazy colleague's ass. And
yeah, but you did it professionally. I didn't. The leak participated a wave of recrimination. 4 councillors were suspended and the party issued oaths of loyalty to its councillors in an attempt to flush out those who the deputy leader, Richard Tick, announced as treacherous. Farage has been silent on the row, preferring to dedicate time this week to speaking at the cryptocurrency conferences and campaigning in Caerphilly Senate by-election, where Reform came second despite leading in opinion polls before the vote. But it all is not well in Kent, and when they was hailed as a shop window for the insurgent party to provide its governing prowess, is descended into factionalism, chaos in the Reform-run Garden of England. One immediate consequence of the row was felt by the committees preparing to adjudicate on appeals by at least 7 families who say they need supported school transport for their children. This session has been cancelled on Wednesday because the chair, Maxwell Forden, and another member, Paul Thomas, were among those suspended by Chemcon. Thomas had featured in the leaked footage as a councillor who clashed with the leader over her decision-making, resulting in him being muted. A Reform UK spokesperson said the committee meeting was cancelled because it was not quoted. Chaos in paradise. This is what a taste of what you're going to have, Britain, if you elect a Reform government. This is a taste of what you have. I want to emphasise you only need to look through the fucking looking glass and take a very deep look at how Kent is run to understand the chaos. And remember, the people who are jumping from the Tory party into Reform are the scum of the Tory party. They are the worst of the worst. They are the racist, xenophobic, nasty human beings. We'll get towards the racist part a little bit later in my part of the podcast. Chemical may have been able to mute her critics in the testy online meeting, but in the real world, her detractors may not be so easily dismissed, and move against her authority has already begun. The Guardian has also learned that Chemical failed to ensure that her registry of interests listed the fact that her husband is a director of digital transformation at East Kent's Health Authority. This omniscience from her declaration of interest was only corrected at the end of September after it was highlighted by an official. Chemican refused to take responsibility for the omission, with a Reform spokesman referring in a statement by council officials blaming an administration oversight. This late administration has not washed with the opposition politicians who are calling for her to resign. Kent County Council has key connections with NHS through a range of partnerships, and her husband is a director of that. That is a direct difference of interests. She didn't declare it for months. Mark Elis, the chief whip of the Liberal Democrats on the council, said, "It is surprising in the extreme that Miss Chemican did not declare her husband's senior role in the NHS for 4 months after her election, and after a concern was raised by a member of our Integrated Care Board. She is putting party interests ahead of the public, using grossly unprofessional language towards her own colleagues, and losing a number of councillors in just 6 months." Council spokesperson blamed an administration oversight for the omission, saying Chemican had raised the employment situation during her induction, but thought no fault on her part. It wasn't recorded on the system. The Liberal Democrats say this is not right, and that all councillors know it is their responsibility to fill in the forms correctly. He's correct. Her husband is a senior NHS member. Kent has several partnerships with NHS England. There is fucking foulery going on here. You can smell the corruption. Remember, Farage jumps from private healthcare company conferences to the next. America private healthcare companies want to buy the NHS. There is a complete correlation going on here. Nigel Farage is being courted by big pharmaceutical hospital-owning companies in America right now. Yeah, he's doing that in multiple stages. And yet, one of his leaders of the Kent Council is a wife to a senior member of the fucking NHS Digital Technology Trusts. Whilst Kent has vast hands inside this, it stinks to fucking high heaven. You only have to look at how Farage behaves. Oh, we must privatise the NHS. Remember, Britain, that is one of his publicly stated statements. Privatise the NHS. That is Nigel Farage. Now his Kent boss, the party leader in Kent Council, is married to an NHS boss, and she's now the leader of the council with a load of money attached to it. You don't need to be fucking genius to find the dotted lines. Chemical attempted to exert control over Reform councillors after the suspensions by asking for her group to sign an oath of loyalty to her. Also appears to stalling. After 57 Reform councillors were elected earlier this year, numbers are down to 50 after the 4th suspension. 2 others and a defection by 1 councillor to the UK Independence Party. One source in the Reform group said that by Wednesday night, Chemical only had 37 signatures to her loyalty pledge. The The remaining were said to be waiting for the findings of the disciplinary panel into the conduct of Thomas and Forthgale, along with Bill Barrett and Olivia Bradshaw. A fifth councillor, Robert Ford, who was suspended last week for allegedly lewd behaviour, is still awaiting his panel outcome. Meanwhile, the day-to-day business of running what is England's second largest council by population does not stop. The clock is ticking on the two major challenges facing Carmichael and her team. One is a local governmental change driven from Whitehall that could ultimately lead to the dissolution of Kent's County Council. The other is Kent's need to meet its statutory obligations to balance its £2.5 billion annual budget. This woman is disgusting. All right? She's an elected official. She's creating oaths of fucking loyalty. Is that what our democracy has come to? Oaths of loyalty. Do you know what that sounds like? And I'm not trying to use hyperbole here. It sounds like the early days of when if you were to read and listen to how Hitler built his party. I don't want to be rhetorical about it, Chris. I'm telling you.
What do you need oaths of loyalty for?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. That's fucking...
Why on earth are you trying to get your other fellow
Your
MPs,
own party members!
Own party members to sign oaths of loyalty.
Fuck
That says to me, you just want to keep power and you're afraid of losing it because of the fact you got some dodgy dealings going on at the back.
Absolutely.
Yeah? When we've already stated multiple times, you can fuck off with the privatisation of the NHS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? If anything, we need to invest more in the NHS, get people in place that to actually help run NHS better. It's basically all groundwork up. Yeah?
Mad, mate, mad. Anyway, back over to Chris. I've had enough of a knifing her for now.
Furious battle of a budget inside government as Stammer urged to stop mansion tax plan. I can see where they're coming from this, but the fact that it's just not good. I can see where they're coming from that it's not going to be good. Keir Starmer is being urged to stand up to the left of his party as a battle rages within the government over whether to impose a mansion tax in the next month's budget, which some fear could have a severe impact on the housing market. The housing market's fucked as it is. If you're going to make an impact by doing a mansion tax, and if it fucks us over, you're going to lose a hell of a lot more people. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is understood to be seriously considering a proposal for her 26 November statement as she attempts to not only fill in a 40 billion black hole in our finances, but also find more than 10 billion of headroom to deal with future shocks. That says to me you already know what's coming. She and the Prime Minister are being warned that with the flight of millionaires from the UK already hitting the economy, a mansion tax will have disastrous effects.
No, the mansion tax works on large properties.
As it ministers want Sir Cameron to step in with one source saying it is a patriotism versus prejudice, which is good for the country versus a hatred of success and wealth.
Bollocks.
Previously, the Independent reviewed that the cabinet ministers were already unhappy about the anti-aspiration taxes of VAT on independent school fees and abolishing non-dom status.
Let me be very clear. Non-dom status is disgusting. Okay? They do not pay tax into our society, Chris.
Yeah, they need to go then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So this is a non-starter from now. Anybody dodging fucking tax needs to get fucked. Me and Chris have had an absolute boiler point position here. The dissolvement of non-domicile should absolutely be a norm.
The impact on London in particular has been stark, and there are genuine fears among senior cabinet ministers that there could be a major flight of capital from the UK. But a row is now raging over a new tax to punish the high-paid and wealthy with a so-called mansion tax. The proposal, which comes from the new Treasury Minister, Tulsa Bell's Resolution Foundation, would mean owners of properties worth at least $2 million facing an annual charge of 1% of the amount by which it exceeds that value.
No, I'm sorry. I've got no sympathy. £2 million fucking houses, Chris. We have a real fucking crisis here in the country for people to get normal houses.
I was going to say, if you're living in a £2 million bloody pound house and you can't afford
a 1% fucking surcharge, you're taking the piss.
If you can't afford basically what I would call it is a form of, it's a form of tax anyway. 1% of that.
That's over 2 million, Chris.
Yeah.
Over the fucking 2 million.
2 million or over. If you can't afford a 1% on that, what the fuck are you playing at?
Yeah. No, I've got absolutely no fucking sympathy.
Which says to me, if we got into power and we reformed the tax system, you would kick up fucking hella high because of the fact I plan on reforming that tax system to shit. And anyone earning over $1 million is going to get a very fucking large shock within their fucking wallet.
Look. I know that Britain has a lot of penny packing taxes. There's a tax for this, a tax for that, a tax for this, a tax for that. And you end up having to go to an agency or some kind of accounting company to try and reduce your overall tax bill. And I get that. Mine and Chris's solution is simple. You make over £1 million, you pay one tax, regardless what you own, end of conversation.
Earn under $1 million, you
pay another tax, only one payment, no other fucking things. That is the suggestion that me and Chris have had, and stand by, because it then tells you what you've got for the rest of the year. You haven't got a stealth tax turning up. You haven't got, oh fuck, my VAT, my housing pensions, whatever, blah 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 blah, come out. No, you've paid your tax in April, done, dusted, move on. What you make now is what you make, and then it's calculated again the next April. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the idea that people who own £2 million properties cannot pay 1% is a fucking joke. And if they want to leave, let them leave. We can turn those £2 million properties into houses.
Actually, if they turn around and leave and the house market crashes, welcome to everyone that's buying houses.
Yeah. Because I don't see this as a problem, because the housing market is fucking monstrously overpriced right now. A collapse of the housing market is not bad for you or me, Britain. It's bad for billionaires.
It means we can actually buy houses, and the billionaires are like, shit, everyone else can afford a house. We now can't be.
Yeah, because the renting is horrible. A crash market is not disadvantageous to the British people.
I reckon it'll do us solid, to be honest.
Yeah. I fundamentally disagree with the article's writer. They're clearly being paid to write a fucking smear on it. And I believe that a mansion tax is absolutely necessary. Over 2 million. This isn't a £400,000 or £500,000 large house. This is a £2 million fucking mansion.
It follows revelations that Miss Reeves is also being pushed to change the 45p top rate of income tax, earning more than 125,000 to raise more money and possibly drag more people into paying it. 45p for every pound you earn is taxed. Damn. I wouldn't do that on such a low income.
Chris, look at the size of these houses. These are the £2 million fucking houses.
I'd love to turn around and live in one of those.
Do you know what I'm saying? They're massive.
I'd also know that I'd have to frigging have a bank account to support that fucking
house. You know what I'm saying? People are taking the fucking... Look at that's one property. That land is one property in the Cotswold for £2 million. That's a fucking island. That's a mini fucking island in a lake.
That's one property. What?
That's one property. Yeah.
It's house there or something. Freaking, if I own that fucking lake, I would stick fucking island in the middle. Fuck all of you!
Do you know, Chris, I'm trying to point out that's what a £2 million property fucking looks like.
That's my ultimate dream, living in a fucking lake.
Island, middle of the lake, fuck all of you. I own everything. You can afford 1% of that, you cheap bastards. 110 acres.
Damn, that's a fucking farm. So you can fucking goddamn, you can stick friggin' a certain type of fish in there and make fucking money off it. Yeah. Oh, I've got this thing. I pay 1%, but I don't care because my business is paying that for me.
Do you know what I'm saying? This complaining gets on my fucking nerves. I just looked up a local £2 million property in the Cotswold, and it's a fucking farm-sized property.
Which 90% of it is a lake with an island in the middle.
Like fucking Jesus. Well, no. There's quite a bit of wetland over there as well. You got that's a farm. That is actually a fucking farm. There's a farm on the property. Yeah, I can hear you moaning, rich man. You got to pay 1% every annual. Yeah,
I'll literally turn around and go to if he doesn't own the farm that's there, I'll turn around, buy the farm,
and then get that to pay my 1%,
and then turn around and go to the farm. I'll pay you this amount of much a year for a wage, so you're completely supported. I foot the rest of the bill for the farm. Let's make it profitable. That would be my frigging thing.
And then have the fish in the air.
and have the fish farm at the other end. Frigging bang. got two sources of income. See, this is what I don't get. You're not thinking about, oh, hang on, no, good people.
No, Chris, they absolutely are. They're just moaning because they have to pay tax.
I don't give a shit. Fucking pay tax, you bastards.
It's a joke. It's an absolute fucking joke.
The Mansion House tax is backed by an increasingly left-leaning Labour parliamentary party, which skewed attempts to reduce the out-of-control welfare bill before the summer. But it is understood that a majority of the cabinet heavy hitters, including the Chancellor of the Duchess of Lancaster and the former Chief Treasury Secretary Darren Jones, Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy, Committee's Secretary Steve Reid and Home Secretary Shabbat Mahood are among those opposed to the new tax which hit aspiration. I wonder why. That's all those
they're the fucking millionaires in the Labour Party.
They're the ones that are probably have to pay the 1%.
Yeah. They're opposed because it affects them. Greedy fucking bastards. I'm sorry. You only have to look up what a £2 million house looks like anywhere to realise that these fuckers have to be minted to own one of them. Yeah, 1% is not a fucking joke.
However, the trade unions calling for the wealth taxes include a bank levy and for the Labour membership voting and left-wing Deputy Leader Lucy Powell. There are concerns that the Prime Minister no longer has the authority to stand up to the left.
To be fair, he's been fucking ignoring them the entire year. What the fuck are you rich bastards want? He's a left-leaning party. It's the Labour. They're part of unions. Did you miss something? Are you rich motherfuckers missing something? This is not the Conservatives who have gone off the crazy xenophobic end. Fuck's sake.
Over to you before I get to my nice juicy one.
Reform MP comment about adverts is a racist, said Steering. Health Secretary Wes Steering has criticised the Reform MP Sarah Pochin for what he called a racist language after she complained about adverts being full of black people, full of Asian people. Ooh. The Runcorn and Headsby MP apologised for her remarks, which was made during a Talk TV phone-in on Saturday, saying that they were phrased poorly. No, they weren't. She was fucking racist. But maintained that many adverts were unrepresentative of the British society. Speaking on Sunday with Lauren Kennisberg, Steering claimed Portion had only said sorry because she had been caught and called out. BBC News has contacted Reform to ask the party and Pochin for a response. Justice Secretary David Lamron called on Reform leader Nigel Farage to sack Portion from the party for her mean, nasty and racist remarks. She was fucking racist. If you look up what she said, she is racist. These are the people, the dark end of the Tory party, that have joined Reform. Remember, most of these are defectors. Lamron said he was disgusted by what she said, adding, our country must be better than that. The Liberal Democrats have also called on Farage to suspend Portion from the party. The row erupted after Portion said she agreed with a caller on Talk TV who complained about the demographics of advertising. Portion said the views were absolutely right, and it drives me mad when I see adverts full of black people, full of Asian people. What? Every TV fucking show, they're not full. That's the problem, Chris. This is such a massive misrepresentation.
It's an advertisement.
Yeah.
No, to start off with, let's get this right. It was over the arguer was over an advertisement. Advertisement, obviously, a company's going to turn around if they're lacking on a certain
demographic
themselves. They're going to use the advertisement to target that demographic. Yeah. It's called just standard business strategy. Yeah. The fact that you're whinging about it means that the demographic that you are is still buying from that company. Just because the fact they're diverse in their demographic has nothing to do with you.
Portion blames the situation on the woke liberal and the arty-farty world. Are you fucking joking? There are 13 million non-white Britons in this country. Of course marketing people want to get their money out of them. We live in a capitalist society, for fuck's sake. It might be fine inside the M25, but it's definitely not representative of the rest of the country. Madam, the rest of the country probably isn't buying black hair products, which black people are advertising. Yeah? The rest of the country isn't. We all share the same telly, the same channels, and the black people in the country want to look for their own hair products, their own material. What the fuck are you on? You can tell this is racially charged, and you can tell she wants the dog whistle to racist people. And this is the key factor that Nigel Farage is holding to. He is a xenophobic, racist bastard, and so is his party. And you need to pay attention to that, Britain. In a social media post later on Sunday, Portion said her comments were phrased poorly and unreservedly apologised for any offence caused, which was not my intention. Bollocks! You were dog whistling to racist people. You absolutely wanted to offend because you want the racist people to vote for you. And we've been constantly critiquing the white, middle class, poorly educated Britons, from the same working backgrounds as me and Chris, who don't read, tend to be very much clannish. And they used to vote Conservative as a bloc. And the more and more racist the newspapers have been getting, the Sun, the Mirror, even the fucking Telegraph has gotten bad on it these days.
Really?
Yeah. I've got more and more xenophobic to anyone who isn't white people. It's the way that they write their language. And this has been going on for decades. And now politicians are giving in to dog whistling to try and get these people to vote for them. And that is the fundamental problem that we have. The British journalist press are incredibly right-wing. Me and Chris have made this case only a couple of podcasts ago. 5 out of 8 of the British newspapers are fucking right-wing. Let's be very, very clear about that. One of them's The Independent's probably one of the most neutral ones we've got, and 2 are slightly left-wing.
Is it Independent and Guardian?
No, The Guardian's slightly left-wing.
No, I mean it's a bit more close to the centre than the rest.
Yeah. The Independent is probably our only centre party, a newspaper. In her statement, Portion cited a Channel 4 study which found that the proportion of adverts featuring black people jumped after the rise of Black Lives Matter movements from 37% in 2020 to 51% in 2022. Black Lives Matter started black people becoming more active in the public sphere, which means advertisers wanted to catch on to this. This was a money-making fucking scheme. You crazy fucking goddamn racist bitch. I'm sorry, I'm unreserved about this. On Sunday, Reform UK head of policy, Zia Youssef, the fucking traitor, said Portion was right to apologise, but said she was raising a very valid point we must be able to talk about. Talk about what? Advertisers spending money to try and recruit people to buy their black fucking people products. Are you fucking joking, Youssef? Oh, they make me mad. Because these people have a right to their own capital spending, Chris. Do you know what I'm saying? If we live in a capitalist world, the black community of Britain has a right to spend its own money on products that they should be advertising for. Before Sterling's interview was broadcast, Youssef told Sky News Portion was a lovely person and her point had been statistically borne out of Channel 4's study. Bollocks! She's racist! Sterling rejects her apology, saying she was only sorry because she would be caught and called out and said the quiet bit out loud. Asked about Portion's comments, Sterling said what she said was disgraceful. I think it was racist. I do too. Black people want to purchase goods. Advertising promotes goods. That is the idea behind advertising. So why don't 13-14% of this country's population have a right to advertising? And in a 2-year gap, 31% to 51%, because of the political movement of society, should not have caused a fucking rush for everyone north of the M25. Are you fucking mad? Ugh. He accused Reform of failing to speak for the whole country, saying that he thinks our flag only belongs to some of us who look like me, not all of us who have built this country and built its success. Absolutely. My difference with the Reform is I don't just adjudicate between me and Chris. We are the skin colour of Mr. Reform. We're the age group that he wants. And we can't stand the fucker. We believe in Britain being for all Britons, to be adjudicated in the name of all Britons. The Union Jack represents all of us, every single one of us. We don't exclude people. And that has been a British moral position since we were kids. And that is why Reform is fucking dangerous. They have racist motherfuckers like this. Infighting, factionism, some of the worst parts of the Tory migrated to Reform, and Nigel Farage took them with open arms. And this is what we've got. But Britain, you knew what they were like when they were in the Conservative Party, but they were always on the fringe of the Conservative Party.
No, they're in the forefront.
Now they're in the forefront of one of the most disgusting, racist, xenophobic parties on these United Kingdoms. Over to you, my boy.
This lovely one. Stammer's lovely issues and updates on the digital ID.
Damn. Here we go.
Sir Keir Starmer has declared that the digital ID will cut the faff as he attempted to regain public backing for the controversial scheme. The Prime Minister emphasised that the identification system would remain voluntary and would never be required for hospital access, addressing fears about its potential effects on public services, civil liberties and data protection. Not addressing fears, you're literally just saying, I want this to happen.
Backpedal!
Yeah. The proposed digital IDs unveiled by Sir Keir Starmer last month for introduction by 2029 would be compulsory for anyone employed in the UK. See, this is what I don't get. Within the same fucking article, within 2 paragraphs.
Voluntary,
compulsory.
You see, you can't make those two come together.
For anyone employed in the UK as part of measures to tackle illegal working and coincidentally reduce illegal migration. We've already discussed.
We have explained to you unquestionably that the people who work illegally in the UK will not be using these identifications.
Yeah, I'm going to say literally, it's already been disproven this will not affect it. One way to affect it, an idea that I've literally just come up with a couple of things, is just sticking your passport, driving license photo on your national insurance card. See, in fact, you need your national insurance card for tax purposes regarding employment anyway. Yeah. It's a simple move, yet effective move, which will massively clamp down upon illegal working. But I swear he doesn't think. But he was keen to stress that apart from the right to work, it won't be mandatory. See, non-voluntary, compulsory, won't be mandatory. All within 3 paragraphs. 3 paragraphs. Yeah? Talk about, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. How about brain like a fucking goldfish?
Get fucked.
Yeah.
Stay fucked. That's how I respond to the digital ID thing.
The Prime Minister told the staff at the Barclays branch in Bridgeton on Thursday that digital ID would really help with security for customers. Oh, here we go. Now he's talking to banks about it.
I'm telling you, the minute a bank tells me I need a digital ID is the day I fucking close my bank account and move banks. I'm deadly fucking serious about that.
Don't go to Halifax or Royal Bank of Scotland then, because of the fact they're already putting in carbon footprints on your purchases.
Just get fucked right now. Because the minute one of the big banks, because I'm with one of the big banks here in the UK, the minute they tell me I got to put a digital footprint, I'm gone. I'm fucking gone.
I get paid fucking cash in hand and sticking it in my own safe.
There's no way. I'm not abiding this digital fucking ID bollocks.
Yeah. But for customers, and they told that they deal with the victims of scams and fraud every day. No, it's called improve on the technology you already have, you fucking muppet. He said customers at the bank have told him they were really excited about it and have relied everyday examples where you can just cut the faff. The Labour leader also told the BBC, you'll never need an ID to get into a hospital or anything like that. Yet. Yeah.
Until Nigel Farage comes into power and privatises it all. Did you not miss that, you cunt?
And for the people who simply don't want it, well, they don't need it. Apart from the right to work. You contradicted yourself in one sodding sentence.
Oh, I want to stab that.
For the one, oh, you don't want it, you don't need it, unless you want to work. You're literally trying to twist our arm. You fucking controlling piece of shit of a prick. You need to resign. You cunt.
My previous statement, when I meant that, I meant politically. I would never want violence on any MP. But we get frustrated. So it's a point of frustration. I want to be very, very clear. I would never, ever want anybody harmed from one of the outburst statements that me and Chris do. Because we are quite passionate about the necessities of our nation. So I want to be clear. When I said there are days I want to stab that prick, it means politically speaking. No point of violence. A'udhu billah. I'm Muslim. I can't be fucking dealing with that.
Right to work. Because we do need to stop people working illegally in our country to do that. We will say this again and again.
They don't work in industries that need this.
This will not affect the illegal working.
They deal in agriculture. You haven't tightened the belt on the agricultural companies yet, on how that's progressed. They deal in Ubers. You're not tightening those either. You've made no effort to tighten any of the delivery systems.
Hence the reason, photo ID with national insurance number, seems the fact you could literally turn around and use the same photo for your passport and your driving license, link it with your national insurance number. You've got 3 forms of identification there, which they're all used for right to work, which has your face on it, your details, everything linking itself to you.
And the problem I've got is the corporations don't want themselves regulated in the dark industries that directly benefit from the illegal migrants. That's the fucking problem. Stemmer needs to deal with that before he even talks about digital ID.
He's trying to jump a thing in order to gain control, and he's already been speaking to banks, which I find disgusting.
Yeah, fucking banks. Fuck off.
Why the fuck are you speaking to banks about digital ID? Because that says to me, you want control of our fucking money.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck off.
It's our fucking money, and I will say this every frigging goddamn video until he gets the bloody message. You work for us, not us
work for you. Absolutely. I don't think he's going to make it, Chris. He's not going to make the next election. Because it's things like this that are going to fucking kill. There was an article just recently by an ex-party leader of the Labour Party. And he said, Keir Starmer doesn't have years. Keir Starmer has months. Because if he fucks up in May at the local elections...
They're trying to postpone that. Do you know that?
Seriously?
Yeah, they're trying to postpone him. they already done it last year. They postponed certain ones, and they're trying to do it again this year.
Fucking hell!
That talk about I'm trying to remain in power because I know I'm on the edge of being kicked out.
His own party will have to sack him once. Those May elections come round, they're going to be a disaster for Stemmer. We will still have 2 years of this current government. I predict that Keir Starmer will not be in power by the end of 2026. Maybe not even the end of April next month, next year.
He said it won't be the case that digital ID could end up being used for surveillance. Absolute fucking bullshit. Yeah. Just because you won't use it for surveillance
doesn't mean Farage won't.
Doesn't mean the next government won't. Yeah, there's a reason we oppose it. It's not because of the fact that you're trying to improve.
Because you're incompetent.
Trying to improve illegal work, in which we've suggested ideas in which to do that already. Yeah, which will be more beneficial to the public. Public will jump on board with. Okay, fine. It links up with this. It's a simple step. There is no issue. They will comply.
With ID, we already have.
With ID, we already have. They will be fine with that. And tighten the belts on obviously agriculture,
deliveries.
Yeah.
And yes, there is nobody declares where drug farms are. Let's be quite frank. So that's one of those things that the police need. But the police need money too. You lazy fucking bastard. Improve the police numbers.
Yeah. But literally trying to say that having digital ID will affect illegal migration, absolute fucking bullshit. Because they're not using the legal route. They're called illegals for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. They're using every backdoor they can that they know that doesn't have regulation, and you're not regulating those industries. Because the people who own those industries have threatened you quietly. And we know this has been, because the easiest route is to regulate the industries that the criminals are using. Or hunt down the fucking drug farms.
The idea of having ID on your phone that is not far removed from having bank accounts on your phone and other apps that people have on their phones, he told the broadcaster. Yeah, but hang on. I got a lovely counter argument for you on this. Yeah, ID on your phone. Yeah, I've worked in the retail sector. I've had to do Challenge 25. If someone comes up to me with their driving license or passport as a photo on their phone, I have to deny it because of the fact it can be edited, can be falsified. So what makes it that this cannot be the same way? There's your argument, Keir Starmer. If we have to turn around and reject a photo of your driving license or passport on your phone or any other form, you actually have to produce the physical thing itself. Why is it on your phone okay? All of a sudden. You're starting to open a very dangerous back door into fraudulent IDs on phones.
There's no way on this earth that I'm going to sign up to a governmental. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather rage away from the working world than give over the digital ID. It's morally bankrupt. I won't abide by it. The illegal migrant industries live in car washes, nail bars, gig economies, which involve...
Oh, no wonder there's so many fucking nail bars around everywhere.
Food delivery services and other informal sectors. The government needs to actually start regulating these bodies instead of attacking the civic liberties of the citizenry. It's disgusting.
Googled it and you find out where the illegal migrants work. And all you have to do is just tighten the
Now
belt.
fucking Google can tell me where the fucking illegal migrant industries are. Why is there not a government official telling the Prime Minister where the gig economies are? Shut them down to start with.
Yeah.
Or does that take a brain cell?
Yeah. But he admitted he did not know how much the proposed scheme would cost, saying that until the completion of the consultation exercise, we wouldn't know the full cost. If you don't know the full fucking cost, why the fuck are you trying to implement it? I'm sorry, that is literally fucking dumbass business 101.
Over my dead body am I joining this digital bollocks?
If you don't know how much it's going to cost, why the fuck are you trying to push it forward? Yeah? On a basic business level, that is fucking stupid. Absolute fucking stupid. If you don't know how much it costs, you should be turning around doing your research and everything else to find the fucking bill before you go, I want it in place. God, do you have a brain cell?
Businessmen getting a bit irate here.
Because of the fact you'll turn around and go, oh, it's only going to cost 10 billion. Oh, I'm sorry, it's costing 200. Who's footing the bill? You are. Fuck off.
I'm not being foot a bill for a digital ID that I want nothing to do with. You can get fucked. You're not stealing my liberty. I'm not giving my details. I'm looking at the politics of my country right now and how it's edging further and further towards xenophobic reform. There is no way Nigel Farage is having access to my digital fucking footprint.
Because most of the evidence from other countries shows that actually saves money because it stops fraud, he added. Yeah,
there are two countries, and both of them have had massive problems with them.
Yeah.
Finland, the Nordic countries that implemented it.
Literally, I'm literally just like, hang on, fraud. Why are you bringing fraud into this? Because the fact you keep stammering on about freaking illegal migration.
Yeah, no, he's been trying to tag it towards it.
In a video posted to X, Yaka said Barclays customers he had spoken to were really up for it, and I think once you understand just how much easier it will make life, so many people will do it. Will be too. No. More than 2.9 million people have signed a petition against the measures, and net support for digital IDs fell from 35% in the early summer to -14% after September's announcement, according to the polling by More in Common. The Prime Minister is given central government control of the plans. In a writing ministry statement, he said, in order to deliver the cross-parliamentary priority, the Cabinet Office will have overall responsibility of the new digital identification scheme, including policy documents, legalisation and statistic oversight. Hang on. So we're giving, the digital ID is becoming non-mandatory, compulsory, and voluntary, all in 3 paragraphs. And the one thing we don't want them to be done by is ruled by the government, which is being controlled by 3 different sectors of the government.
Fucking Jesus. It's enough to give a man a migraine. Fucking. Just off the wall, mate. Off the fucking wall.
Your plan for digital ID is completely half-assed, completely fucking stupid. Stop taking a fucking page out of Boris Johnson's book of the fucking disastrous EU freaking bargaining book and just scrap the fucking idea and actually work on what you say you're going to do and stop the illegal migration by using the systems that are already in place, than trying to create a system which gives you more control over the people when we say again and again and again, you work for us, not us for you.
Excellent point, my boy. Absolutely brilliant point. There's no fucking way I would ever agree to be a part of this. You can bring me kicking and screaming, you can lock me the fuck up, I'll roll sit in prison.
Well, to be quite honest, the way it's going to go, if it goes that way, prison would be a fucking break. I literally watched a video where it says 2035, you're literally criticised for everything you do outside. You then turn around and pay someone else's bill, which you're not allowed to. You get turned around and sent to jail, and people are in jail having a glass of wine going, I'm free.
Over on my side, man arrested over racially aggravated rape. Yeah, a bit dark. And the reason I bring this up is because how careful the British press is in avoiding these conversations specifically. A white man in his 30s, short hair, what we know about the man who raped an Indian origin woman in the UK in her 20s. Whites on non-white crime is massively downplayed here in the UK as it is in America. It is neutrally written inside of the BBC. The BBC almost never puts down race and creed. But whenever something like that, like the Rotherham shit, everybody talked about race. Fucking everyone. And I know this is dark, Britain, as I come to the last subject on my side, but I want to point out the hypocrisy here in the UK. A massive hunt is underway in the UK for a male suspect for raping a woman said to be a Punjabi in northern England, with the police calling it a racially aggravated attack. Now, I know recently he's just been captured. So this article I wrote was a couple of days ago. The West Midlands police issued an urgent appeal on Sunday, saying that the woman in her 20s was raped in Wellesley on Saturday evening. I think he's been arrested like Sunday night or this morning. Officers established that she had been raped and assaulted at a nearby property by a man she did not know, they said in the official statement. The attacker had been described as white, in his 30s, with short hair and wearing dark clothes. The police also released a CCTV footage of the suspect. They have found him, in which he was seen walking in the outdoor settings, most likely a park. The West Midlands Police said that the specialist officers from the Public Protection Unit, local police officers and forensic officers have been working overnight to recover CCTV, speak to witnesses and identify the suspect. This was an absolutely appalling attack on a young woman, and we are doing absolutely everything we can to arrest the person responsible. What I got to get at is how unlikely I had to dig for this. I had to dig that he was a white male. I had to dig that it was racially fucking motivated. Much of the British press will keep this as a very small barcode, because this type of xenophobic behaviour does not sell papers with a majority white country. But we're liberals. This is a disgusting crime. This asks questions about the racial rhetoric that is spewed by certain political pundits and certain racist motherfuckers. And that's why I raised this. And I'm really, really horrified to what happened to the young lady. It was disgusting. It was vile. It should never have happened. And this is why we need more police. Actual more bobbies on the fucking street, protecting young vulnerable women, children, etc., etc. This is an example of why I have a problem with British journalism today. Thoughts? I mean, I know you want to think your first word would be to castrate the cunt, because that tends to be your immediate response. But we're not allowed to do that in a liberal democracy, Christopher. We can't chop his balls off.
You chemically castrate him.
I told you, this man, you think I'm the bad guy. I say what we think, he thinks what we think. I'm telling you this now, yeah? The reason, as I said, the reason I raised this subject, as dark and as evil as this is because of how the British press make a point of neutering the race.
I didn't even know that article was about until you bring it up.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And it is on the BBC, but it isn't the front page kind of thing. And it says, man arrested for aggravated racial rape is what the BBC said. They don't say white man. They don't say white man in his 30s who probably follows Nigel fucking Farage. Oh, I've got to retract that. I've got no proof of that. I would have been loved. My apologies, Nigel. For once in a while, I actually have to pull something back. But in reality, yeah?
He's been influenced by
that type of rhetoric is influenced from decades and decades of racist, xenophobic behaviour. You can tell he is. Because it's the kind of ideological positioning that influences young men who would act upon these kind of horrific actions. And it's not even the first one in that county, Chris. That's the second in recent months of racially aggravated assaults.
You shouldn't be doing that to any frigging race.
No, of course. Absolutely not. But the reality is it's going on. Preeson Kearn-Keall, a British Sikh Member of Parliament from the West Midlands region, said she was deeply shocked and saddened to hear yet another racially aggravated rape against another ethnic minority. These seem to be creeping up, but the problem being is, and I've stressed this, not that I like to emphasise these, I emphasise them because of how neutering the British press operates in the language that they use. I believe you still have something, don't you, my boy?
Yeah. One to tie on from yours. Asylum seeker who threatened a man with snooker cue avoids prison because of his dignity.
Motherfuckers should be thrown out the country. As a man who believes migration works and benefits our country, any criminal migrant, any criminal migrant should be immediately deported.
An asylum seeker who threatened another man with a snooker cue has been spared jail after magistrates praised his dignity. I don't give a shit about his fucking dignity. You created him a crime. You're better with foreign names than me.
Sakir Jamal.
Shikmad 24 brandished the cue as a weapon outside the snooker club in Bournemouth, Dorset, and was waving it around at the victim who he claimed had insulted his family.
Oh my God.
Right, I'm sorry, but for one, you're an asylum seeker to start off with, so you're naturally going to have...
You're going to have to be careful what the fuck you're doing to start with.
Yeah, you're going to have a negative perception placed on you anyway, yeah? And the fact that people are going to be annoyed because of the fact that you should know the current state that is going on here. And I can guarantee if a person did insult his family, it was probably in a generic way, but the fact that you took it that personally says to me that you're part of the problem. And the fact you then turn around and decided to wave a snooker cue around, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about your dignity. You knew exactly what the fuck you was doing. That is not dignity. That is aggravated assault at least.
No, attempted aggravated assault. He didn't actually hit him.
Attempted aggravated assault at least. So you should be in a fucking behind bars. If it was me, it won't be behind bars. It'd be on the next boat out to the fucking country. Yeah.
I fundamentally believe that anybody who breaks the law, who aggravatedly tries to assault and batter any member of the public as a migrant should be deported. I'm a Muslim saying that. Yeah. Deport him. Because there are too many good, hard-working Muslims and brown people and black people and what's name who want to live a good life and obey the laws in this country that shouldn't be penalised by dirty bastards like that.
He was due to be sentenced for carrying an offensive weapon last month. However, he avoided justice after leaving the court to eat fish and chips. Jamal was
nowhere to be found
when his case was called on at the Powell Magistrates Court on September the 18th. After returning to the building, magistrates were unable to make room to hear his case, which was adjourned, and he was allowed to leave on bail.
You see, this is another thing. The magistrates and many of the courts are inundated. That is something we do need to make a stress.
Jamal returned to the same court on Friday and this time received a community order and 100 hours unpaid work. Magistrates said a custodial sentence was not appropriate as he had made an error of judgment and has since conducted himself with dignity. No, he's sucking up. Let's get it right, yeah? They say dignity. Basically, he was kissing your ass to get off. Yeah? I'm sorry, he knew exactly what he was doing.
He was telling a poor cue.
Yeah? He knew exactly what he was doing. That says there was no alcohol involved. Yeah, which means he knew what he was doing. I don't give a crap of what was said beforehand.
That's not an excuse even in Islam. If he's Muslim, that wouldn't even be an excuse.
No, I don't give a crap.
Because alcohol's even worse.
Yeah, I don't give a crap what was said. The fact that you decided to take it to the point of attempted aggravated assault says you need to be beyond bars or deported straight off the bat.
As a migrant, you can't be doing stuff like this. You're not a citizen. Even citizens get banged up for this stuff. Deport him. I'm sorry. I know that's horrible to say, but I need to say it. Because there are too many hard-working, actual, good people who obey the rules, do the job, pay their taxes and go about their business that don't want to suffer because of fucking idiots like him.
This one sentence a bit further on. The prosecution said Jamal was the main aggressor and that he told police he felt threatened. How can you feel threatened if you're the main aggressor? Answer that one.
Came in from Iraq. Oh, fuck me.
He arrived in UK from Iraq in 2021 or 2022 and has stayed in the Britannia Hotel, which is one of the hotels in Bournemouth converted into migrant accommodation.
Oh my God.
The court heard Jamal's outburst and was out of character. He now realises he was inappropriate. No, I don't give a shit. It's called you gone. Straight off.
We've got too many good people we need to look after. And I fundamentally stand by this, Jamal. If you are a Muslim, I apologise, but you should be deported. Because in reality, the innocent Muslims who are obeying the jobs are having their lives made harder by your actions. And that needs to be said.
On that matter of Jamal, I'm sorry, Jamal, you need to go.
Yeah, no, I agree with Chris. Because I have too many good people to protect. And people like you should seek opportunities in countries that will tolerate that kind of behaviour. And Britain doesn't. We don't tolerate that. It's not something we allow.
The fact that you got off with community service is just disgusting. You should be behind bars or deported. One or the other. Make a choice. You knew exactly what you was doing.
Yeah, you weren't even drunk. And I mean, that isn't even a defence.
As far as we're aware, there was no alcohol involved, which means you're of sound body and mind, which means you brandished that cue as an offensive weapon.
With intent to do harm.
With intent to do harm. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
you got off light, and
the magistrate courts do have a lot of pressure, so we have to give to the court personnel. But that 100 hours community service, if they did 500 hours community service and fines, you'd have been a bit. We could have
500 hours plus a fine. I may have been a bit swayed, but only 100 hours? No.
Yeah. No. 100 hours is not long at all.
Me, you make the 100 hours up, then you're on the next ship out, mate.
Ruthless. Because we're defending good hard-working migrants who are making this country great. We can't be affording criminal migrants to get away with this shit.
Right, I'll save the record numbers, obviously giving up on NHS the next one. I will, however, make a lovely end on a positive.
Yes, that's always good.
Iceland makes a major change to UK stores with pensioners to benefit. Hence reasons like Iceland to the rescue. Iceland is rolling out a significant change across its UK stores with shoppers aged over 60 set to benefit from. Frozen food retailers announced it will slash prices of hundreds of items popular with the over 60s until November the 5th in a fortnight's time. Iceland confirmed that 250 products will see their prices reduced. Paul Dawali, Chief Commercial Officer of Iceland Foods, explained that supermarket chain wants to provide support no matter whether you're over 60, student or parent, putting family favourites on the dinner table. He continued, we know this time of year can be tough for many older people. We know from speaking to our elderly customers that every penny counts and every degree on the thermostat makes a difference. That's why we're doing the right thing by cutting prices of the products our over 60s really love and rely on. From fish and chips to classic roast dinners, we want them to make sure our customers can enjoy good food, hearty food, without worrying about the cost. Iceland runs outlets throughout Birmingham and competes with the likes of Tesco's, which is UK's largest grocer, alongside the other supermarket giants like Aldi and Lidl, two discounting darlings, plus Morrison's, Asda, Avocado, Waitrose and others. Iceland became the first retailer to introduce a special price cuts for the over 60s, offering 10% off their weekly shop every Tuesday for customers aged 60 and above. There's no minimum spend, and the discount can also be used at the food warehouse branches as well. To arrive of Iceland's over 60s discount customers simply need to present proof of age, such as a driving license or a bus pass. So
you don't even need digital ID for that.
I don't even need digital ID for that. So
not that we're having a fucking moan about digital ID. That's a really positive thing. You know, the elderly.
For the elderly people that watch us, or if you know someone that is elderly that you do know of,
go to Iceland.
Encourage them to go to Iceland because they
currently 5th of November. Absolutely.
Currently get 10% off their weekly shop every Tuesday. And all they have to do is just show a driving license or bus pass.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I like that. It's a very positive thing to end with.
I like the fact that it goes driving license or bus pass, which means they identified the two main transports for the elderly as either a car or a bus.
Yeah, and it didn't require digital fucking ID, Keir Starmer. Yeah, drop it before we drop you. Well, we want to drop you anyway, but that's just me and Chris. We're
drop it before we drop you anyway.
We want to drop you, and sooner than later, preferably. I don't want to get to an election and you're still in fucking charge. As always, I'm John, Shaun or Yaka, depends on who you're asking.
I'm Chris, hope you have a smashing day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And as always, thank you for joining us on this podcast.